Hey, listener, quick content warning. This is the one where we have the dream sequence where Adama drowns a baby. We're going to talk about it. If you don't want to hear us talk about it, I don't blame you, to be perfectly honest. It's jarring as fuck. So we'll just catch you next week. No worries. But we just wanted to give you a heads up that that's this episode.
Hello, and welcome to Who Are You? We're a reasonably well-done sci-fi watchcast by a couple of friends who are watching 2004's Battlestar Galactica. I'm Laura.
And I'm Xhafer.
And Xhafer, I have a question.
Oh, what's up?
Is this episode kind of like Season 2's 33?
It feels that way, doesn't it?
It was pretty suspenseful. This felt like suspense.
So, I think I mentioned it a while ago that I had picked up the Mark Altman book about the making of Battlestar Galactica.
Right.
This is the guy who did, if you see those like 50-year journeys or whatever, there's these 2-volume Star Trek book that's like 700-800 pages. There's these massive things all about the making of Star Trek.
Yeah.
From pre-TOS through to, I think it ends sometime around the J.J. Abrams movies.
Oh, okay. So it goes that far.
I think it goes that far. I don't think it makes it to Discovery, but I haven't read them, but I remember them being out for a while at this point.
I know I've seen this thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So in 2018, he went and did interviews with everyone he could for Battlestar Galactica, original and remake.
Mm-hmm.
And I have started reading this tome. It's got to be 700-800 pages.
Wow.
I got super lucky. I found a used copy online for $12. If you look at this thing on Amazon, it's $120.
Ooh, that's steep.
It's been out of print for 7-8 years now.
Yeah.
It's never going to get a reprint, and I got a first edition hardcover for $12 just by scoping used book sites. So,
wow.
Thrift books, love that shit.
In a couple of years, can I borrow that?
For sure. I am actually hoping to be done with it before I see you this summer.
I know, but I can't take it from you this summer.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, actually,
too many spoilies.
I can actually tell you for sure because I started reading. I skipped the original making of the original Battlestar stuff because I wanted to get to things that we could talk about on pod, and I did. I started reading this book yesterday. I've read about 100 pages.
Okay.
Because I read very quickly. But
I imagine there's some stuff in there that we can talk about. Yeah.
There's stuff about this episode.
Oh, well, that's handy.
Specifically about the like wizardry of the set crew to move so when they built the Battlestar sets. Well, when they started making the show, a lot of the things were whenever Star Trek turned right, we're turning left, because a lot of the feelings of this show from Ron Moore were coming out of a very negative experience leading Star Trek Voyager.
Yeah.
And man, everyone has talked shit about Rick Berman in this book. It's so great. Everyone hates Rick Berman. People are talking about just Ira Stephen Bayer's just all like, man, like Brannon and Ron, they're great dudes. It's just, the Voyager almost cost them their friendship. They had a really tough time adjusting to different things and what Ron wanted to do. And all these things Ron was talking about doing about Voyager sustaining damage and keeping damage. About Voyager meeting up with an alien flotilla and having to escort them through space and stuff. And, at what point does their culture stop being Starfleet? Should they have elections? Why is Janeway just always the captain and unquestionable? And all this shit. And I'm just all like, this is all Battlestar. Every single thing he wanted to do in Voyager, he did in Battlestar.
Yeah.
But
cool.
One of the things, yeah. They're down to how it's shot. They're talking about how Star Trek does the establishing shot of the room, the twofer, the close-up on one, the close-up on the other, the twofer, the establishing shot. They follow this pattern. and how they tried so hard in their set design to break these patterns.
Yeah.
To make it so that you could do the West Wing style that we see so much of. And because of that decision early on, led in this episode, a lot of their hallways were very modular.
Yeah.
So that they could dress up one hallway 20 times by just moving the set pieces around very quickly.
Yeah,
which is how they were able to
hallways.
afford to make this episode.
Yeah. No, I can definitely see a difference visually in this show. Just thinking about it, it almost seems like, I don't want to say reality TV because that's not quite right, but some of the shots feel very like reality to intimate or not staged in the way that Star Trek feels staged. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And especially when we go through a lot of suspense and chaos in this particular episode.
Yeah.
Should we tell the people what episode we're discussing?
We're watching season 2, episode 2, Valley of Darkness.
Not quite as like gripping a title as 33. Like 33,
Well,
you wonder what's going on. Like,
I mean, Valley of Darkness is not a happy title.
It's not a happy title, but it's not as like, what's happening here? I kind of know something's dark.
Yeah, something's got for sure. Billy gets shut down by D in our opening here.
Yeah.
As power immediately goes out on the Galactica. Gata says this is a residual effect of the virus in the system, as LSO Captain Kelly lets CIC know that they have been boarded.
Billy really got hit below the belt here in this opening scene.
Billy gets it rough here. Not that he doesn't deserve it, because if we remember, his last interaction with Dee was effectively using her for information for the president.
Yeah, their last like romantic interaction, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
And he's on this ship right now because his boss is in the brig.
Yeah, I wasn't clear, like, why is Billy on the ship? Is he on the ship, like, he's not in the brig with her.
Yeah.
So why did they bring everyone over? Did I miss something?
I mean, they did talk about how they had to cut into Colonial 1, so maybe there were some worries about mechanical issues on the ship because of it.
Not sound anymore, yeah.
Maybe not as many people should be on there, and Billy volunteered. He might have just gone with Rosalind because of him being the chief of staff or whatever, the page or assistant, whatever his
It almost
role
seems
is.
like Ty should have, like, locked him up somewhere, though, right?
I would think so.
I would think
he
Ty
would
would
be
do
in
that.
jail.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think if he's on the ship, he's in the brig for sure. But maybe just in a, like, I don't know why you'd want Billy running around doing the president's business on this ship.
Talking to your people, yeah.
Yeah, like, but that's probably what he'd be there to do if he was not in the brig. I don't understand that decision, but, you know, Ty fucks up a bunch, so
yeah.
just add it to the list.
We get Ty in this opening just like staring at Adama, wishing he was Adama, or that Adama wasn't there and he was there instead of Adama.
Yeah, he's just in sick bay as all this goes down.
He's so out of his element. And the pilots come home.
Yes. They're all celebrating because they blew up the thing and they're all happy, but
yeah.
Apollo and the Nuggets find Centurions to theme, so their enthusiasm quickly fades.
Yeah. Lee kind of knows something is wrong because he's like, we let one through. You should not celebrate. He says that to his pilots. And like, we're going to look to see what's going on. Maybe it's the power goes out. I can't remember exactly. And yeah, they stumble on the Centurions.
Cat, Hot Dog, and Apollo are saved by Marines with their last explosive round. They head to the brig to get the president to safety while CIC warns the fleet, or at least attempts to warn the fleet, before communications are killed.
Yeah. So remember how we needed Doc Cottle really bad?
Yeah.
We can't even let him on the ship right now.
Like episodes before Adama sees Doc Cottle.
It's crazy. Yeah. We've had one episode where they were just trying to get back to the right area of space. And now we've got episode 2 where they're trying to get the battle bots off the ship.
Yeah.
Disable all the battle bots. Like, just wild.
Apollo gives Billy a sidearm and tasks Billy along with Vermeer the NP. Venner?
Oh, wait.
Venner,
How
I
did they
think.
get to there? To the bridge?
They went to the brig. Yeah, they're like, okay, well, Lee knows the president's in the brig because he's got the adjoining cell, right?
Oh,
So
that's
he's like,
right.
okay, so let's go make sure the president isn't dead and get the president to safety.
Yeah. I want to see a, like, ship plans or blueprints, and so I know exactly where the brig was compared to this action. Like, they make it seem like the brig is in between 2 points that the Cylons are interested in or something.
Yeah.
And so, because Rosalind and Billy, like, hear gunfire in the brig. So,
Yeah, there's something
they're
that's close.
close.
Yeah. I mean, it would make sense to put it kind of in the center of the ship so that you could get people there from anywhere quickly.
that's a good point. And then, like, they can't easily be sprung from the middle of the ship, right? If you have your
Yeah.
brig along the hull or something,
Yeah,
it
exactly.
could be a problem.
I mean, you might want that so you can space them easy, but that's a whole other thing.
Yeah, that's a whole
That's the
other thing.
Rosalind special. Brig next to an airlock.
And it's the gunshots that gets Rosalind to convince the guard to let her out.
Yeah.
Because, like, we're all sitting ducks here, but maybe if we can get moving, then we might survive. So,
Yeah. Lee sends them to sick bay because it is the safest place on the ship.
okay.
He rattles off a couple of reasons really quick. It's enclosed. It's meant to act as a shelter. Like,
Okay.
yeah,
Sure.
okay, sure.
I'll buy it. It seems urgent we go somewhere.
Yeah. Sick bay is actually made out of entirely the black box material. So it's meant to survive in case the rest of the ship gets blown up.
Okay.
That's an old Seinfeld joke.
Yeah. Why don't they make
Yeah.
the planes out of the black box
Black
material?
box.
Yeah.
Because it's too fucking heavy. Not a concern in space.
True. Yeah. If you don't have
Uh,
landing craft, right?
Yeah, they decide to head to an arms locker to look for more explosive rounds. And this is when we cut over to Caprica Yellow. Starbuck and Hilo try to figure out a way off-world.
She's so mad.
God, the look Hilo gets when he says that he was one step ahead of the Cylons. A plus Katie Sackhoff. This is the best acting ever. Just like, I mean, suspending disbelief aside of sci-fi and robots and all of that, I was so bought in to she was sick of his bullshit from this one look. Yeah. Perfect. Just like, oh, one step ahead of the Cylons. Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. Yeah. He's starting to put together, like, all the little cognitive pieces that he had missed and having to, like, unravel, like, wait, no. I think he doesn't even, like, get it that, like, he's like, she was so real, like our Sharon, and he's not, like, making
Yeah.
the next step to, like, our Sharon wasn't real either. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Versus Starbuck, who the second she's like, oh, shit,
Yeah.
immediately knows that Boomer's a problem.
But I guess maybe Hilo wouldn't really have enough information at this point, right? Because he doesn't know
So-
there's 12 models of Cylon.
Yeah, his thing has been that the Cylons have cloned humans
Uh-huh.
and are making them do their bidding somehow.
Yeah.
Not that these are actually just Cylons.
Right. He can't know that, like, oh, there wasn't a real person that Sharon was based on. Like,
Yeah.
this is just Sharon's are all Cylon. He can't really know that with what he's been given on that planet. Yeah, but he is mad at himself. He's mad that he fell in love with a machine.
Yeah.
And she says that the Cylons make them all look like idiots.
After this, Ty's back in CIC. He knows the Cylons' plan. He, had done some shit first Cylon War, et cetera, et cetera. He's all like, no, they're going to auxiliary gun control and auxiliary damage control, because on this type of ship, those are not particularly well protected sections, and from there you can vent everyone on the ship into space and then kill everyone else around you. That's the plan.
Yeah, that sucks. I mean, I'm glad he's here to know that. I didn't realize he was like putting things together from his past experience. I thought they were just like all, like techno babbling together, and then suddenly we know the thing and we explain it to everybody.
Nah, he looks at like the path that they're heading in and says, "I've seen this before. Like, I know exactly what they're trying to do right now. This is old Cylon maneuvering. This is not fancy new Cylon shit. These chrome domes aren't that much. I mean, they're deadlier. They got claw hands. They're gonna Wolverine your ass, but they're not that much different than the Cylons he had previously encountered."
Yeah. We can't have flashbacks of whatever that was when he felt that happen before, because we just flash back to all the mustache Adama in the episode before. So
yeah. We don't even see him in the military before.
Yeah, that's true. We see him after military. Yeah.
Yeah. He gets reinstated. Like, they use those words, but who fucking knows?
Yeah, so over on Kobol, we have Gaius again at the Raptor 1 crash site, and he's back to Christing and hallucinating Adama this time.
Yeah. Adama just comes in on this dream sequence, pulls a Snitsky, and just drop kicks this baby into the river.
So Gaius thinks he's holding this baby that was like revealed in the last episode, right?
Yeah.
And Adama asks to hold it and says, "Is this the shape of things to come?" He asks him that. And I think Gaius answers in the affirmative, or maybe he doesn't answer. I can't remember exactly.
Yeah, I think he says something like, "That's my understanding."
Yeah, yeah.
Because I think he said the same thing to Six earlier. In like 2 episodes ago.
He asked, "Yes, this is the shape of things to come." Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And Gaius, I guess, is like bought in. At least later in this episode, it makes me think he's bought in.
Yeah, robot baby.
Into the robot baby, because Adama goes to drop kick the baby into the river, and he's like chasing after him, desperately pleading not to do the thing he's gonna do. I'm so confused.
Yeah, Adama gets all biblical, but forgets the basket.
Technically, that would be kicking it Old Testament.
Yeah, it's very jarring. I mean, it's supposed to be jarring. Like, the whole point of, like, it's a dream immediately because Baltar is not in the woods, and Adama is there immediately. They just showed us him in sickbay right before.
Right.
Like, that's fresh. That wasn't an accident. That was to remind us where he is. So that way when we see this, we know it's a dream before it gets started.
Right.
And so when Adama just takes and drowns this baby.
Yeah.
Which
so
we should
jarring.
probably throw a content warning on this episode, actually.
This whole show is a big content warning. Like, everything Battlestar Galactica just assumes something messed up is going to happen.
We haven't even gotten close to the worst of it.
Oh, yay. So it seems like maybe the stream sequence is all metaphor, too.
Metaphor. Yes.
There's another drop for you. That, it's not even about real babies. Like, we know that Sharon supposedly had gotten pregnant and there's real robot human baby happening there. But it feels like Six is warming Gaius to the idea of, like, we can live together, maybe, in a sort of new human evolution.
Do the thing instead of all of this happening before happening again, maybe.
Yeah. I don't know. But Adama, will be a roadblock to that. He
Yes.
will not accept this idea.
No.
So-
Adama is not down for the shape of things to come.
Yeah. So, like, maybe you should consider that, Gaius. And he wakes up with 6BT there, and he is totally crazed.
Yeah, he is hysterical.
Yeah.
And in the very literal sense, just like freaking out, cannot be calmed down.
Yeah, he's like, he drowned our baby or something, I think he says. And
Yeah.
have you ever woken like totally crazed from a dream?
I think if we talk, I don't really dream.
Yeah. You have mentioned that before.
Yeah,
So you
most-
haven't done it then, I guess.
not that I recall.
I can remember one occasion very vividly.
Okay.
I had like hallucinated that a giant spider had come down from the ceiling, like, and landed on my pillow
Yeah.
right in front of my face. And I about ripped like Aaron's arm off. Like crazed Gaius, but yelling about a spider. Like,
Yeah.
not real.
I don't know that I've had dreams where like they are so stark it wakes me up and then I do not get back to sleep very easily. But most of the times when I have a dream, it's my work day and I go to work and I work all day. And then when I'm getting ready to leave work, I wake up and then I have to go to work.
Yeah. No, my brain is working through some shit and it's doing it in graphic and colorful ways in the night. Yeah.
I'm jealous. Incredibly jealous.
I don't know, man. I don't think you should be.
You say that, but I feel like I'm missing out on like a third of my life by not dreaming.
Aw.
Like really. I'm very jealous. One of the highlights of my morning is when Beth wakes up and I hear about her dreams because I get to experience that kind of, sensation and feeling secondhand because I don't get it personally, very rarely. Maybe once every couple of months I'll have a very mundane dream, and then maybe every couple of years I will have a like vivid out there dream.
Wow. Yeah, no, I'm working through a lot of stuff all the time. Like, you shut off the front
reasoning
end
parts of
here.
your brain. Yeah.
Yeah, you shut off the front end, it's no longer operating, and then the back is just like working away. It's like we gotta work through this stupid thing that Laura said at 2 p.m.
Remember 3 weeks ago when you saw a spider when you were doing laundry? What if it was giant?
Yeah, so Gaius's front end has also been deactivated, and the rest is going crazy.
Yeah.
He says that scripture is a cover-up for savagery when they like see human skulls all around them.
Yeah. Cobol, apparently, real big on the human sacrifice.
That's what 6BT tells him.
Yeah, I mean, all that has happened before and will happen again, presumably.
I don't know how much I trust the history that 6PT is dropping here, though. I don't know.
That's very fair to question.
Did she just make it up? What data was she trained on? I don't know.
Yeah, right? Was 6PT just trained on a bunch of conspiracy theorists and Twitter posts? Just trash AI. Get it out of here. Garbage in, garbage out. Lee and crew make their way to the arms locker over piles of bodies to find very few explosive rounds left. Another team must have come by and grabbed some.
Okay. There's a lot of bodies in this episode.
Yeah. I mean, we see there's 40 dead people, which is a lot when you're in the tens of thousands.
Yeah. And you presumably, your whole population is in the tens of thousands, right?
Yeah.
Only a fraction of those are your military people.
Yeah.
So that is crazy. And so they get into this arms locker. The keypad doesn't work, but they manage to get in, and they come along this man called Xhafer, and he's alone with a lot of dead people in this arms locker. And I do not trust Xhafer. I am worried about Cylon here.
That's fair.
He's a panicky mess.
I think
which,
you're supposed to be. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
you're supposed to think he's a Cylon because how could he have survived?
Yeah. And they set up the same thing later in the episode with someone else. But yeah, I don't trust Jammer, even though he is a very understandable panicky mess. Like, I don't think I would necessarily be handling things better than Jammer in this moment.
Yeah,
But
I think if
still.
you're handling things well, you're either very, very compartmentalized or you need help so badly.
Yeah.
If you're that compartmentalized, you should seek help.
Yeah. So I don't know, but I definitely, if I've got my like possible Cylons list, Jammer's name.
Yeah.
Just
Jammer's name is on it.
You just made the list!
Yep.
On the list of Laura.
So Starbees breaks into her old place, I guess.
Yeah.
She lived near Delphi. Who knew?
Yeah. Yeah. We see her place. We see paintings of hers for the first time.
Yeah, lots of big, weird paintings.
This will come back.
Okay.
There's a giant mural in her living room
Uh-huh.
that is important. There's like stuff written along the side of it. It's important. It's not supposed to be important yet, but
But it will be.
It will be. They'll bring it back. Don't worry.
Oh.
It's just
how.
remember that painting.
Okay.
Set it aside for later.
Yep.
She listens to a recording of her dad playing piano, finds some cigars, and waxes poetic about her life before the fall of the colonies compared to after.
Yeah. So I guess this is probably how we're going to get more cigars on Galactica eventually, right? She's bringing them back.
She did take a box with her. We see it. She's carrying one when they leave.
It's nice to see us refill the torpedoes. Voyager's thing about like, we just got torpedoes. Well, Starbuck has a reason to have cigars. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she tells Hilo that she never missed any of this. Everyone is fighting for what they had, but she's just fighting because she likes fighting.
Mm-hmm.
And do you know what this music was that she puts on?
No.
So apparently it's Philip Glass.
Okay.
And we keep playing it a little bit through the episode, I think.
Yeah.
We go back to Galactica, I think, and we're still hearing it.
Bear McCreary at this point is doing all of the music for the show.
Uh-huh.
And there is nothing on accident.
Mm-hmm.
He's so good.
Yeah. But this Philip Glass was really good. I was like, man, I'll look that up.
Yeah.
I'll listen to it. But I think Aaron said it's maybe one of the only things that wasn't him. Like maybe it's the only thing that wasn't Bear McCreary. Yeah.
Well, spoilers. The president's cohort runs into D, who
More
has
dead
had
bodies. Crucial.
a very, very bad day. Yeah.
So many more dead bodies.
So many more dead bodies. D is full on traumatized.
Yes.
Just-
Interesting that Rosalind, like as Billy is trying to reach D and like, D, listen to me. Rosalind says, try Petty Officer Duwala, and that does snap her out of it.
Yeah. It's military
So
training.
weird. Yeah. And the corporal, who I believe he was the guard, and he's been traveling with them. Is that right?
Werner.
I didn't catch a name. I just
Venner,
caught the title of
something like that.
corporal. Yeah.
I just know it from the subtitles.
Oh,
So.
okay. Yeah. He's struggling responding to her as well, seeing all these dead bodies.
It's a lot.
Because I think we've kind of set up this person here alone with all these dead bodies. Could they be a Cylon? And also, she's acting weird because she's not able to speak.
Yeah.
Oh, is she a Cylon? But then also this corporal can't speak either. So, like, I don't know. Can't think either.
Are they all Cylons?
Or is nobody a Cylon? Oh my God.
That's not the case. Spoilers.
Yeah. There's more Cylons here somewhere, I'm sure.
Up in CNC, we learn the Cylons have cut through the hole to prevent being followed in certain places.
Oh, damn.
And this is when Saul calls out to smoke him if you got him. Just like, well, this might be it.
Nothing between the last two Cylons and those safeties.
Yeah.
Oh.
can't you just like plug that networked computer in or something to prevent this, Gata? Don't you have a cord from that computer running to your terminal right now? Can't you just delete that terminal or some shit real quick?
Right? Get the networked computer on to take it down.
Just like, you don't have to do all of them, but just
that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
This is when we go back to Cobol. The Chief and Callie yell out some of their frustrations working their way back. Cyanus is too far gone for the medicine at this point, so they move from trying to keep him alive to double-dosing Morpha to ease his pain.
This sucks.
Yeah.
There's so much here that sucks.
Yeah.
You know, obviously Callie and Tyrell have been through a lot just to get this stuff back, right? And Cyanus's position is real bad.
Yeah.
But Crashdown is a freaking coward. You know, he's been all like, I'm in charge. And the second, like, some chips are really down, he's like, no, Tyrell, he's your man. You make the decision.
Yep.
Which, on the one hand, like, okay, maybe Tyrell might feel like, yeah, I do need to be the one that makes the decision. But all this time you've been like, I'm the big dog. And now you're like, nope. Not the big dog here.
Yeah.
I'm
not
mad
when not when I might feel bad about my decision. Either way, I'm going to feel bad about my decision, so I don't want to make it. No.
Yeah, I'm mad at Crashdown for this.
That's fair.
So yes, Tyrell decides that he doesn't want to believe the medic at first, that there's no way he can be saved, but he does decide that this is his man. He is going to do this. And he like lies to him about rescue as he gives him the drugs.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so very sad. This sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. It's bad. Apollo calls into CIC and happens to hear where he needs to be. He happens to be in the area of the ship where he might have a chance at saving them.
Yeah, they're like between the Cylons and the decompression safeties.
Yeah.
By accident.
So Ty's just like, you need to fucking get there right fucking now.
Yeah.
The president's group gets stuck 20 meters from sickbay here, and they run into the aforementioned decompressed hallway, which is why they can't open up that door. So they have to pass through aft damage control, the Cylon's target, in order to reach sickbay.
Cool. Yeah. We're finding all this out as also Billy is like showing the audience that he is not capable by sticking the gun in his pants without the safety on.
Yikes.
Yeah. Like we have Vinner here and he's got the training and a gun and that's great. But our other dude with a gun is not good at it. Does Duala even have a weapon at this point?
I
don't think so.
I don't think so. Given she's like trying to give pointers on how to use the weapon to Billy.
Yeah.
Which was weird. You'd think, I mean, maybe she is just too traumatized at the moment.
Yeah, just can't
to
have
give
a steady
the gun
hand
to.
Yeah.
But that would be if I were Billy here, like
maybe you should
have this. It's not even like it's got an explosive round. They're not going to do anything.
What a vivid and perfect way to tell the audience that like this fool should not have this thing.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Yeah, the you're going to shoot your dick off on accident is big warning signs.
So Owen was like in the room while we watched this episode. He kind of does his own thing when we're watching Battlestar. He's not super interested in it. But at this point, as I was like pausing to write my notes, I was like, Owen, never stick a gun in your pants.
Yeah.
It's like important life lesson right now.
It's never cool.
Never do it. Never do it.
Lee and team cover outside of aft damage control as both groups hear gunfire and screaming in the distance. Lee quotes his dad, "Gotta roll the hard 6," and then says he doesn't know what it means. I have been convinced I know what it means for forever, and I don't know if that's a spoiler for later or if it's something that I had already made up by the time this episode aired.
I mean, I've heard people talk about rolling a hard 6 before, like in contexts that weren't Battlestar Galactica.
I do believe it comes from this show.
No. Really?
So
it's nothing
the
to do with
hards-
craps?
No, you don't. A 6 is not a. You don't. No, that's not in craps.
I
You
don't know.
want
I just
sevens
thought
in
maybe
craps.
craps has a ton of rules that I don't understand them all.
Fair enough. So I have always been under the impression that rolling the hard 6 is when they do the flippy thing in the ship, because you press the nose down at 6 o'clock,
Oh.
right, to flip the
I
ship.
think we have talked about this before. Okay.
Yeah. We've heard it before, and I always assumed that's what it meant. And I don't know if I am now remembering something that happens later in the show, or am just had come up with that answer apropos of nothing at some point.
Huh. Okay. According to Google AI, which
Yeah, fuck that. But what do we got?
it says in the context of dice game craps. So,
Oh, okay.
rolling a hard 6 means rolling a 6 with 2 dice, specifically a pair of 3s.
Okay.
So I don't know. Could be right, could be wrong. But I was like, I feel like it's craps.
Scroll down just a little bit.
There's definitely a Reddit about Battlestar Galactica, which I am not scrolling too far.
Oh,
to
okay.
see.
That's fair. Don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why'd you Google it? Why? That's safe space. No.
Well, okay. Urban Dictionary also agrees with the Google AI that the phrase originates from craps.
Well, it's probably not agreeing with so much as it was taken.
Google
from.
AI took it from Urban Dictionary. Yeah.
Yeah. Turning the tables when the pursuer when being chased is what the Battlestar Galactica one says.
I mean, that's probably referring to this episode, then, right? Because we're like trying to turn the tables on these Cylons and no longer be chased. Because we're about ready to have our like last stand.
Okay, so I see the quote attributed to Adama, but also referring to craps in the same sentence. Because apparently rolling a pair of 3s pays 7-1, which is good for craps.
Yeah. It has a ton of rules, right?
It's almost like it's designed to be archaic, unknowable, and unwinnable on purpose.
So
What?
weird.
A casino game? What? No one knows how to play Baccarat. I don't want to hear it.
I don't even. Craps is my limit. I find craps interesting to watch. I don't think I would find Baccarat interesting to watch just based on the name.
I think most things aren't interesting to watch, just generally speaking.
Okay, but this last stand is interesting
Yeah.
to watch because we have Jammer and Lee like setting up for their last stand. Jammer's clearly like not qualified for this. He's
Yeah.
big old coward at this moment. And it's got to be a headshot. This explosive round has to go to the head. And there are 2 of them, 2 Cylons.
Yeah, it's where robot brains are.
Right. How about the whole robot is the brain? That seems like an idea. So Roslyn and Co. are like down the hallway a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're set up. Lee and Jammer and I think another guy are right outside of aft damage control.
Yeah.
The Cylons come charging through. They run right past Roslyn and the team, but Billy fucks it up.
Billy does fuck it up
He
pretty badly.
he like accidentally shoots a shot, right? Just a wild shot. And so
he's trying and just fucks up and shouldn't have the gun.
Right. So the Cylons stop running at Lee and team, and now they're shooting at Roslyn and company, and get shot at from behind by Lee. So he gets one, or he or his team get one.
Mm-hmm.
But they keep missing the headshot on the other. And this last battle bot comes like charging at Lee, and he barely gets it. in the head just in time.
Yep. It's a little miracle.
So at the end of the scene, I wrote, Rosalind, Billy, and co. fine. Jammer has to be a Cylon. Oh, but interesting that we've got this particular guard here that was kind of feeling a way about Rosalind in the last episode, right?
Yeah.
He calls her a prophet.
Mm-hmm.
And
prays with her, does the thing.
Prays with her, lets her out in this episode. And now he sees on her blazer that she almost got shot. Like a bullet went right through the blazer.
Like just grazed her suit coat. Yeah.
I
crazy.
wonder if that will come up later.
Does that make you more suspicious that she's a Cylon?
I don't know. I could believe this is all coincidence.
Yeah.
And that it's just going to get really out of hand because now we have this person here who maybe goes a little bit zealot for her cause.
Okay.
You know?
I want to talk about this more, but I want to talk about it in the broader scope of not this episode. So let's finish up this episode and then let's move to that.
Yeah, we don't have much left. We go back to Caprica for just a minute for Spux to get a hold of her old truck.
Yep. It's got Delphi plates. Love it. This is the attention to detail I'm here for. Always scoping them license plates.
Yeah. Glad to see license plates make it to the future. Right.
Yeah. Billy hangs out with Dee in sickbay, and they kiss. She kind of makes up a bit. It's like, I was kind of shitty, and it's been a very bad day.
Yeah.
And you did try and do the right thing today.
Yeah.
And
like, sorry, I kicked you in the nuts. You did your best. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, maybe we can make this work. Try and get us some privacy.
It's pretty cute. Yeah. Ty, Lee, and Rosalind are all watching over Adama, and we found out Doc Cottle is on his way again.
Yep.
And Rosalind tells Ty she's ready to return to her cell, and Ty is like, okay, fine. No change of hearts here.
He gives Lee some shit for siding with the president, and Lee is just like, I don't give a fuck about your judgment. I give a fuck about the old man's judgment. And nothing else is gonna fucking matter here. So say whatever you want. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. I might not be fit to wear this uniform, but you definitely aren't either. So we'll see what Dad says when he wakes up.
Yeah. How badly you have fucked up here.
Yeah.
And that's to credits.
That's it, man. That's it.
So on a scale of 1 to 12 colonies, how'd you feel about this one?
Well, if this one is the 33 of the season, which I don't know if it is or not, but it didn't quite hit the same mark for me as 33.
Does not.
Yeah. I can feel them wanting me to be suspicious of a whole bunch of people.
Yeah.
And I have no idea who's a Cylon. It would be really, I find, poetic if one of these people in this episode is a Cylon, but we will see. Only time will tell.
Okay.
So, I don't know. I think I can still give it a 10.
Yeah. I give it an 8. It has its fun moments. It felt a little bodily, and part of it is just knowing how the next couple of episodes are going to be spent.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe this episode could have been cut for the most part, and we could have sped up that arc and maybe had some more space around episode 10, 11 I would have liked. So, but that's all way in the future. What's near in the future is season 2, episode 3, Fragged. Democracy is brought back to the fleet, and with it come hardball politics and potentially deadly intrigue. So that's our next episode.
I don't like the politics. It feels bad.
Can't we just have normal politics, please? Please. I don't want Rosalind to start giving everyone tariffs. It's going to be weird. There's not even any foreign countries.
Tariff the Cylons.
Tariff these Cylons to hell. You don't buy anything from them. Exactly. We won't buy anything from them. Okay.
Yeah.
So
You want
I
to
wanna
talk about yes.
Cylon. I want to talk about who you think is a Cylon right now.
Oh no,
We're a
you're
couple
gonna make me
episodes
do
into
this
this
again?
season. I'm curious where we're at right now. Where your thoughts are if you had to pick it, like just pick a character that you think is a Cylon, just one.
I'm kind of afraid about Duala, to be honest. I feel like maybe Jammer was set up as a feint to get me thinking about that. I don't know. I'm a little afraid for Dee.
Okay.
I'm also afraid for Rosalind. But I'm
Okay.
also afraid for Adama. Like,
Yeah.
that Adama could be potentially like the anti-Cylon that's like their purpose is to like guide humanity in some way that like forces some evolution. I'm just really on this forced evolution thing. Like I'm stuck in
Okay.
Shadow's land. I don't know.
I think you look about the most uncomfortable I've ever seen you look after asking you a question.
Yeah, like we can talk about the weirdest, most personal things, but you're like, who's a
Right.
Cylon? And I'm like, God, I don't know.
Fuck. Don't make me answer that. Sorry.
Especially the ones that you're getting to like obviously I even though they're not getting along and have both made some bad choices, like I like Adama and I like Rosalind.
Okay.
And so like that idea.
Who did you
is
pick
something-
last time? Last time I asked, you had a couple other names you were floating around.
I don't remember.
Okay.
I feel like Starbuck is not. I think what I did was like, here's who I think it's not, and then you were like, well, maybe it is.
Maybe it is. Yeah. So I mean, Starbuck feels like, you know, like her home on Delphi. Like that seems pretty safe.
Yeah.
Although there's no food there. That's weird. I mean, what about like Gaius? Is there at any point any suspicion about Gaius being a Cylon?
No.
He's probably like the least, like, because they literally had to put Cylon agents around him to do the shit they needed to do.
Like
So,
you would have
like-
just had him do the shit you needed to do. Like
Yeah.
That doesn't make
It'd
a
be
lot of
really
sense.
weird if he was a Cylon. Yeah.
Right.
So-
Lee feels like not a Cylon. Lee,
Okay.
Starbuck, Gaius are the ones that I now feel are like probably not Cylons. Although if Adama's not Cylon, but Lee is Cylon, that could be, big if
And
true.
That'd be weird. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It feels like you'd have to go through some fucking hoops to make that work.
Yeah. You would have had to base the Cylon off of a real person in that case.
Yeah.
Because Lee was definitely a real person. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, unless they're both Cylons.
Yeah. That seems like a bridge too far.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
I don't know. We shall see.
Yeah.
I hope we get some kind of reveal in season 2 because like there's 12 of them in total, right? And we have Leoben, Sharon, Six, Doral. We only have 4.
You are going to meet more Cylons this season.
Okay.
I want to say, I think there are 1 or 2 characters that are Cylons that I think they're either introduced as Cylons or found out to be Cylons very quickly.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm itching for more
that we haven't
Cylon.
even met yet. Like they're like some of these are not even like it's not like all 12 are characters you've interacted with.
Yeah.
You know,
True.
That's I'll just say that's not the case. You're not looking for 8 Cylons in the fleet right now. That's not how this goes. Like there are Cylons that just haven't shown up yet for whatever reasons. There are reasons.
Yeah. I really want Ellen Ty to be a Cylon and to get her comeuppance in a dramatic way, but I don't think I'm going to get that. I bet she's just a bad human.
Can't say anything.
Well, I'm itching for more Cylon. Like I was really hoping in the last season, that because we knew all along about Boomer
Yeah.
that we'd also get like, surprise, also this person, and we didn't. So I want it. I'm ready.
I mean, that twist is coming.
Okay.
Like that is a thing that happens. That will have payoff.
Mm-hmm.
It might not be exactly how you're imagining it right now, but that is a thing that happens.
Yeah.
And you will be shocked.
Cool. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Let's keep watching.
Yeah. I mean, that's the plan. So we'll be back next week with season 2, episode 3. But before we get there, gotta say thank you to Jeremy Siegel. Hey, Jeremy. How you doing? You just put out a bunch of recordings, it looks like, from your Facebooks. Super happy for you. I'm glad that you're getting to do so much music stuff. I know it brings you a lot of joy. And your music brings me a lot of joy and our audience a lot of joy. Thanks so much for making our theme music. Appreciate the hell out of it and appreciate the hell out of you. Thanks, Jeremy.
Yeah, I have actually been listening to our podcast again lately. I had kind of not because I didn't like the sound of my own voice, but all of a sudden I don't care anymore. And every time the theme comes on before we start talking, I get really excited. It's quite good.
Yeah, it's good.
And thank you to Angry Duck Time Machine on Instagram for our podcast artwork.
Aaron, I know I gave you some fucking out there drops today. I hope you found them. And if you didn't, I know you spent a bunch of time looking for them, and I appreciate the hell out of that. Thanks for editing this podcast.
And thank you, listener, for being here with us as I am yet again confused by what is happening in Battlestar Galactica. If you know what is happening in Battlestar Galactica and you want to talk about it, go to our Discord and ask to be put in Spoiler Town.
Yeah, we're talking Spoiler Town. I'm going to be posting in Spoiler Town things you said this episode in about 10 minutes.
Oh, no.
It's going to be like, we're going to finish this show and you're going to get added to Spoiler Town and you're just going to scroll back 2 years and just read. Yep. And it's going to be, it starts with me apologizing. I think that's one of the first posts in Spoiler Town.
Yay!
For a thing that I said in a very early episode of this run.
Cool. Yeah.
to not give away something far later in the show.
I can't wait.
Yeah, that'll
Where's
be
my
really
time
fun
machine?
in 2 years. Well, we'll get there.
We'll get there.
In a matter of time. All right. Thanks, listener. We'll see you next week.
Bye.